Hi everyone, welcome back to Glam-me-up. Today I'm going to be doing a review of the Artistry makeup brush set. This is a 7-piece brush set. I received this from a really nice lady named Sandra Hernandez, and she actually has a beauty website. It's called truebeauty.mychoices.biz, and I will have the website listed right here so you know what I'm talking about, and then it will also be linked down below. She sells a lot of different types of makeup. It's all the Artistry brand, also skincare and stuff, and tools and stuff. So one of the things that she carries is actually the Artistry makeup brush set. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today, and I'm really excited about this because these are really great brushes. So this is the case that it came in. It's a very sleek makeup brush roll, and I'm really excited to have one of these for traveling because I think that they're awesome. As you can see, it's very thin, so it's not going to take up too much room. And then when you open it up, it's got these magnetic closures right here. And then these are the brushes inside. So when you lift up this flap, it's actually going to keep the brushes protected, and it also has this plastic piece right here, so that's going to keep makeup from getting all over the place. So all of the brushes are housed right here, and they came shipped with plastic wrap over these, so it had like a plastic sleeve over it, so it really kept the brushes protected and everything. And then there's just a different size brush hole for every brush. And then I really love how this has this pouch right here. So it's got this zippered pouch that actually opens up pretty wide, so you can fit your makeup in here or your other brushes or anything like that. And then it even has these stretchy elastics to put more brushes. I think only small eye brushes would probably fit in this. And then it also has this little pocket to hold them in place so they don't go all over the place. But you can always put your face brushes inside of here and then your eye brushes on the outside. So you can even house more brushes in here when you travel, whether if they're Artistry ones or other makeup brands brushes that you have. So I think this is a really nice traveling case. You can even put this in your purse if you carry a big purse, or just a bag or any kind of suitcase or anything like that. So I think this is a really great brush roll because I've never had one of these for traveling. I've always just put my brushes in with my makeup bag, and they can get really messed up and beat up in there. So this is really going to protect them when you travel and keep stuff from spilling all over them. So I'm going to be going over what each brush does, and I'm also going to give a demo of each brush because I think it's really important to show how the brushes actually work, seeing them in action, because you can't really tell just by me talking about it. So I'm just going to have little clips of me getting ready this morning and when I was using them, that sort of thing. I've been using these for quite a while now, probably about 3 or 4 weeks, so I've been testing them out for a while. Of course I wouldn't do a review of these unless I had fully tested them. If you're interested in these brushes, of course there will be a link below where you can find them. You can go on there and see the price and all that stuff. And also if you have any questions about any of the products that I'm going to show in here that I'm actually using, then just leave me a question and I'll tell you what product it is or something if you're wondering. So I'm just going to go ahead and go over real quick of the way that they are designed. So they have this golden color. It's very nice, but it's very hard and durable feeling. It's got like that shimmery champagne color, so that's really pretty. And then the ferrule is actually more of a matte look. It's not very shiny like the typical aluminum looking ferrule is, and it's pinched right here because this is more of like a paddle style brush for powder. And then these are all natural brushes except for a few of them, but I'll let you know which one those are. But it's very soft. It's not your typical black brush either, but that doesn't mean it's not natural or anything. These are all natural hairs, so they're very, very soft. They feel really nice on your skin, and they are that brownish color, so they look like really natural looking. So all of these brushes also are much lighter than your standard brush. Some of you may like that, some of you may not, but I typically tend to like it because I feel like it's not as heavy. As you can see, this brush is one of Sigma's biggest brushes, and it can be really bulky because the handle's so huge and it's very heavy. It might be hard to use, but whatever your preference is, it definitely doesn't feel cheap or anything. I was just really surprised when I felt them how light they are. So they really are user-friendly when you're using them because they're really easy to hold in your hand and they're not too heavy and all that kind of stuff. So it's just whatever you prefer. So the first brush I have here is actually the powder brush. I really love this for applying loose powder or pressed powder. And here you can see that I'm using it to apply a pressed translucent setting powder. And it picks up the powder really nicely because it is tapered. So it's got the shorter bristles and then they get longer at the top. So that just allows for easier blending and stuff. So it really picks up the product nicely and it applies it evenly all over my face. And it really just helps to blend everything out. This would also work really well if you wanted to use it with bronzer or contouring or anything. It's a little bit big for contouring, but it would work. It's really good for like applying your bronzer down your neck because it is bigger, and also, but I think it works best with powder products because of the way that the bristles are designed. This would also work really good with mineral makeup, like my Bare Minerals makeup. I like it for that too. So this is a really good multi-purpose brush. And as you can see for the comparison of size, this is a Sigma F10 or something like that. It's the big powder brush, not the biggest one that they have, but the next biggest one. So as you can just see in comparison, it is a lot smaller, but it also is more functional because it is smaller. So this is a great bronzer brush. You can see it's also not as wide and round. It's more of like a flattened because it does have that pinch right there, and it's not as dense. But I really like it because it's not too dense, so it's going to apply loose powder and pressed powder really nicely. So this is just perfect. Also, before I use these, I wash them because they kind of had like a funny smell. And it's always good to wash your brushes before you use them when you buy them, because you want to get any germs or anything from like the manufacturing off of them. So as soon as I washed them, that smell went away. They didn't smell weird or anything. It wasn't like a horrible strong smell, but it just had kind of like this weird scent to it. So it went away after I washed them. I didn't have any problem washing them. This one did shed a little bit for some reason just when I washed it, but now it hasn't shedded anymore. Maybe a few hairs here and there when I use it, but like as you can see, a few of them are coming out. But when I wash my brushes, I'm always really careful not to get this part wet. I only do it in my hand like this. I have a brush washing video if you guys want to check that out, of how I wash my brushes and dry them and everything. But I always hang them up like this to dry so the water drips out of them. If you want to see how I do that, you can check out that video. But so I was really careful with this, so I'm not sure why it's shedding. I think it just might be this type of brush, because I have that problem with my Sigma one as well. It sheds really bad. So I don't know if that's just these really big fluffy brushes or what, but overall this is really nice. So on the brush, it actually has Artistry written on it right here, and then when you turn it over, it has powder written right here. So it's going to tell you what it's used for when you turn it over. So that's really nice in case if you forget or you don't know what is used for what. And on the website, it has all the brushes listed on this thing. The actual brush set I will link below, but it'll tell you on there what each brush is for and what it's made out of and all that good stuff. So the next brush that I have here is actually a blush brush, and this is probably my favorite brush out of the whole collection. I really like using this for blush, and you can even contour with it because it is tapered at the top, so it does have that bit of a point. It really just applies the brush nicely, and it's not too stiff or anything, even though it is very dense. As you can see, it's very round here. It has that pinch to it, so it is going to blend it out really nicely because it's not too feathery, so it's not just gonna like spread it all over your face. It's very condensed, so it is going to apply the blush exactly where you want it. And then the tapered bristles is what's going to help blend it out because those don't get product on them. And this one is actually one of the shorter handles. I really like that because you have more control over the blush that you're applying, and it actually doesn't pick up too much product, which is nice. So it doesn't leave like one mark where you first put the brush and then doesn't blend it anywhere else. I can't stand that where it acts like a stamp and it just puts it on one spot and it doesn't blend it out. So I really like the way that this blends out blush. I think it works really great. So since this is a little bit pointed, I did also use this as a contour. So I just took some bronzer or like a brownish color blush and I applied that right underneath the blush that I already had on there just to kind of give it more dimension, and I really like the way that it turned out. The next brush is actually an eyeshadow brush, and it's definitely larger than your standard eyeshadow brush. So this is great for highlighting the brow bone, but I really like to use it for highlighting the cheekbones. You wouldn't think that an eyeshadow brush would work good for that, but it really picks up the product nicely. It doesn't pick up too much, and then it's very controllable, so you can apply the highlight exactly where you want it on the highest part of your cheekbones, up your temples, and down the bridge of your nose. So I think it works really well for that because it's not too big. It's like the perfect size for applying that right to the top of your cheekbones. And it also blends out really well too, but you can always go over it with a kabuki if you feel like it's too harsh of a line, but I don't think it applies too much or anything. I think it picks up just the right amount of product for that nice highlight there. And as you can see here, I'm also using it to apply eyeshadow to my brow bone. I already have some eyeshadow on because I'm kind of doing this out of order because I want to keep talking about this brush before I go on to the other ones. So it really blended out the rest of my eyeshadow really nicely, and it just blended out everything on the top, so it just was a nice gradient up to the eyebrow. And then it applied the highlight color really well. So you could even use this for applying color all over the lid if you just wanted that wash of color, since it is so big. So in comparison to my eye, this is about how big it is. So it really works nicely just to apply something all over the lid. So I feel like this would also work good for cream products because it is so stiff. So if you wanted to use it to apply like a paint pot or an eye base or something, I think it would work really well for that. So the next brush that I use is actually a spoolie brush, and this one is the longest one out of all of them. So this is what it looks like. This is really great for the eyebrows. I used it to comb out my eyebrows. As you can see here, it really just combed them out nicely and to shape them, and it also blended out the eyebrow color really well. And this is really good for separating your eyelashes if you get clumps in them or anything like that, where you can take it like that and just kind of separate your eyelashes and comb through them. So I really love these multi-purpose spoolie brushes. So the next brush that I have here is an eyeliner slash eyebrow brush. So as you can see here, it says eyeliner slash brow right here on the side, and it's just a really nice angled brush. This is probably one of my favorite angle brushes that I've ever used. This one is actually synthetic, so it's not made out of real hairs, which is really good for using cream and liquid products. So this is great for cream eyeliner, as I'm using it for here. And I really love the length of it. It's not too long, so you really have control over the line that you're doing when you're applying your winged liner. I use this for cream eyeliner. I really like it for that. And then I also used it to set the eyeliner with an eyeshadow. So as you can see, it really picks up the eyeshadow well too, even though it is synthetic, and it just presses it into the eyeliner really well. That way it really sets it really nicely. So, and I also really like the angle to it. It's not too frayed or anything. It's very thin, so you get a very precise point on it. As you can see, it's very thin and precise, so it creates a very straight line and no like feathering or anything. So this is one of my favorite brushes for eyeliner. And I also used it for my eyebrows, as you can see here, so it picked up the powder really nicely. I used it to fill in my brows, to fill in any of the sparse hairs or the gap areas or anything, and it really blended it out well, surprisingly, for it being such a good eyeliner brush. It really worked well for the brows too, and I like the way it blended it. And then I just went over it with the Spoolie Brush to blend it all out. So the next brush I have is your typical eye shading brush. So this is what it looks like, and in comparison to my eye, it's just the perfect shape for applying eyeshadow. So here I'm just picking up a regular eyeshadow, and it blends nicely over my lid. There's no like harsh line or anything, and I feel like it's fluffy enough that it does the blending. That's one thing that this kit doesn't have, is a blending brush, but I feel like you don't even really need a fluffy blending brush because this brush does all the work for you. So really just applies the color nicely to the lid. And then also, because it does have that point, since it is tapered, it's really great for applying color to the crease. And you wouldn't think that this would work for the crease, but I think it really does work well. So I just picked up a darker color teal and I applied that to my crease, and as you can see, it really just concentrates it exactly where you want it, but then it blends it out really well, and you don't even need a blending brush when you're using this brush. And I also like how this one is shorter, so it doesn't have that really long handle, because when you are blending, I tend to hit it on my mirror because I'm too close to the mirror for one, and then also the brush handle is so long, so I end up banging up the brush and everything, and it can just be hard to handle. So I really like how this one's short, so you have the control. You can hold it right here and apply the shadow exactly where you want it, and then if you want to blend it, you hold it out a little bit farther, so you have that more feathered control, and you can really just blend it out. So the next brush that it comes with is actually a lip brush, and this is something that I've never owned before. I've had a few just regular multi-purpose brushes that you can use for your lips, but this one is actually made for the lips because it's got the cap, which is really nice because you can throw this in your purse and it's not going to get all dirty or anything. So this is what the lip brush looks like. It's wider than an eyeliner brush, but it's also flat, which is really nice that it's flat, because then you can just apply the color, and it also has that point to it too, so you can really get in the corners and line your lips with it. And it's really small and compact, so it will fit in your purse nicely. Here I'm just using it to apply a really bright color lipstick, because you don't want to apply a bright color directly to your lips because it can be too overwhelming. So a tip that I like to do is either use your finger or a lip brush to really apply it precisely so it's not too much color. You can kind of layer it up how you want it. This is also really great if you were going to be using it with a red lip, because then you can use it to actually line your lips, and then you don't need a lip liner because you're applying it really precisely with the brush and then going back over it with another layer of the actual lip color. So I really love using a lip brush. It's something that I'm definitely going to be doing more now that I have a true lip brush, but you want to make sure you wash it after you use it, because you don't want any bacteria or extra lipsticks staying on there. You could also use this for lip gloss as well, so it's very multi-purpose. So these are all 7 of the brushes. I cannot be even more pleased with these. These are just amazing brushes, and it really surprised me with the quality that they are. Even though they are like light feeling, you wouldn't think that they would be good quality, but they really are. After using them and testing them out for weeks, I've really enjoyed these, and they're a great addition to my collection. I'm definitely going to be using all of these every single day. So that is all the brushes. The link will be below where you can check out the actual brush set, and then you can also look around at the different makeup that she has on her site and skincare and all that kind of stuff. I will also link her Facebook page below if you want to check that out and go like the True Beauty Facebook page. So if you have any questions about these, or if you want to see more tutorials with them, then just ask me in the comments below, or you can send me a message or an email or anything. And I plan to do more tutorials with these. I might even end up doing just a tutorial with only using these, but I figured since I already demoed them in this video that it kind of already shows you how they work. But definitely plan on doing more stuff with these. I really enjoy these brushes. They really surprised me with the quality, and I think they're very nice quality brushes. And I'd love to try out more Artistry makeup. I've never tried their makeup before. Some of you might have heard of them. Artistry is actually comparable to like Clinique and stuff like that, so it's definitely a higher end makeup brand, but it's definitely good quality, and if you have the money to spend on it, I think it's really great. So brushes can be expensive, but you're definitely getting what you paid for. They're not just going to fall apart like your typical cheap drugstore brush, so it definitely is worth investing in good quality makeup brushes. So please let me know if you've tried out anything from Artistry before, or if you have these brushes, or if you plan on checking them out or anything. I'd love to know. I'll have pictures on my blog and everything of the finished look after I use these brushes, and I'll have lots of pictures actually of the brushes and all that kind of stuff on my blog, so that link will be below. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye everybody.